What you watching?
What you watching? Let's tell you what we're watching, what we're reading, what we're doing each and every week. We'll always feature fans first here, too. You give us a what you watching title, throw us why you watched it, what you thought of it, and a rating. You can get featured first during this segment. Today, it's just us, the fellas. Andy, kick us off. What'd you watch this week?
Well, I've been watching this over the past few weeks, getting caught up. Billions on Showtime. There's 5 seasons right now. Usually they're about 12 epis each. Yeah, this is on Showtime, as I said, I think.
You did.
Starring Damian Lewis and Paul Giamatti.
Nice.
If you like things like the Wolf of Wall Street, like the Wall Street movies or any finance BS stuff like that, then you'll love this show. I think it takes a lot of themes of like real life, like Wall Street corruption and things like that, and kind of plays it out like throughout each season. So I don't want to say too much, but it gets a lot into basically these two. Paul Giamatti plays like a lawyer. Damian Lewis, he was in Homeland, I think.
Yeah,
on Showtime.
Homeland.
Anybody
That's a
watch that?
very popular show.
That was one of my favorite of all time. So
Sure.
whenever I look at him now, I think, what was his name? That Brody.
I haven't
right?
seen it.
Oh, okay, yeah. Is that right?
I haven't seen Billions or Homeland.
Okay, all right.
Scotty, have you seen this one?
No.
Okay,
All right.
So yeah, I think I wouldn't say this is for everybody for sure, but if you like those type of things, like this is like Wolf of Wall Street, but kind of like junior.
Is it anything like Succession on HBO?
Little bit? I like
similar
I see,
themes,
I
but
see
less, probably less like family, more business maybe in Billions.
Correct, exactly. This is more like there's a lot of these two have an on and off relationship. As far as like sometimes they're I don't want to say too much.
Sure,
but
Billions.
It dives into a lot of like businesses, other companies. Like Bobby Axelrod is Damian Lewis's character, and he Axe Capital is the company that he runs. So it's a lot of just inner office drama you see, and then drama between them chasing Paul Giamatti's character chasing like basically just trying to catch him red-handed. So a lot of the Wall Street BS that I see every day in my job. The job that I have
in the finances on the finance side of the things.
Oh yeah, I basically just stopped this from happening.
Wow, that's interesting. If anything was going to get me to watch this, it was going to be watching it telling Carrie like, yeah, Andy said he's basically like one of these characters.
Exactly.
Andy's like basically living Billions.
Yeah, real life.
I love it. All right, Billions on Showtime. How many seasons are there?
5. Season 6 comes out next year.
So season 6. So they're still going.
Wow. Yeah, the season 5, like they had abruptly ended in mid-COVID, so it was kind of weird. You could even see the characters even look different when season started back up again and finished up earlier, like within the last couple months.
Yeah,
there's like 4 episodes that they finish it off, and it starts up again next year.
All right, cool. Billions on Showtime. Is it one that you could give a rating?
Yeah, I can give a rating for sure. I go about 3.5.
Wow.
Oh,
I'll give it up for that. That's a good rating. Billions.
I give it a 1 billion.
A 1 billion.
Highest rating ever.
All right, go check it out. Billions on Showtime, 3.5 from the Giggler. Let us know if you're a fan of this show. We'd love to hear more about it. One that it's on the list right now in terms of like on the radar is typically what I say. If like it's not quite on the list, it's on the radar, and a 3.5. I mean, pretty exciting. Scotty Scoop, you're up next. Tell us about what you watched.
Army of Thieves, Netflix, recent, just came out last Friday. Prequel to Army of the Dead.
What?
Yes.
You're talking to a guy that knows nothing right now.
Wow.
Yes.
I just found this out last week.
Not even about this, just in general. But
this
yes.
is a Zack Snyder movie.
Yes, I knew that. Army of the Dead.
For Netflix. Army of the Dead, that came out 6 months ago.
Yeah. We talked about it. You've seen it, right, Andy?
Yeah.
But have you
I've not seen this.
Okay.
If you enjoyed Army of the Dead,
you're gonna be fine.
Yeah, this is gonna be something for you.
I still haven't even seen Army of the Dead.
It was good. I enjoyed it. It was fun.
Oh man, now that there's a prequel, I mean, first of all, before we get into it, Army of the Dead, what would you rate it?
I would give that 3.1.
And how about this one, Army of Thieves?
Army of Thieves, 3.3.
More. Oh wow.
Yeah.
See, like that's what I was gonna get at. Was like now that there's a prequel, you've got me like You're speaking to the I'm the audience for you because I'm like, oh, a prequel, cool, more about a pre-zombie world, right?
Right. As you watch this movie, in the background,
Awesome.
there's the army or the undead are starting to rise, and they're talking about there's a zombie apocalypse apparently going on in like Vegas.
Yeah, it's like Fear the Walking Dead.
Right. This is what is mentioned to be Zack Snyder's Armyverse. So there is a another prequel coming out that is animated called Lost Vegas. That is supposed to show all the characters from the Army of the Dead
because it takes place in Vegas.
Right.
Yep.
And then there's going to be a sequel. I think it's
And you said animated?
animated. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Animated.
Interesting.
Planet of the Dead is
Interesting.
going to be the sequel. But the main character here, Dieter, he was in the Army of the Dead. He was their safecracker.
Okay. Okay.
And this centers on him. There's not really anyone else in the movie that you'd know except for the secondary character was Missandei in Game of Thrones.
Okay.
This movie was fun. It is a heist movie.
Mm-hmm.
Centers on this guy, Dieter. Apparently a very, very famous actor in Germany.
Yeah, he looks familiar. And then what was the girl's name you said from Game of Thrones?
She plays Missandei.
She plays Missandei. She also was in Fast and the Furious, I think. She was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. She was like what Ludacris's like hacker
Uh,
girlfriend.
Natalie Emmanuel.
Okay, great.
So it starts out. I'm not doing any spoilers here.
Cool.
He gets invited to a underground safe cracking tournament.
What's safe cracking? Like just cracking a safe,
cracking
like
a safe,
like a burglar.
Yeah, just like, hey, you guys, there's like 8 of them. Like whoever cracks these safes the fastest gets this job.
Wow.
And they're real globe-trotting event. They're trying to crack these famous safes. And there's supposedly 4 of them. The last one is the one that he cracks in Army of the Dead.
Oh, I see. I haven't seen that
So,
either. So it's like, okay.
It's good movie.
Good movie.
Perfect Netflix movie.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like
Got
it's
it.
its own
Yeah.
category. Andy, is this
I'm gonna watch it.
You're gonna watch it because you've already seen Army of the Dead.
Yeah, this interests me.
And now I'm gonna. All right, so here's the next question: would you recommend I watch Army of the Dead first and then watch this as a prequel?
I really think you could go either way.
Because I'm a fan of like hearing people talk about these prequels and then making my own decision. Be like, well, maybe I'll just try it. But then again, I'll rely on you as the expert, Scotty. You think you could do either one?
Yeah, either one for sure.
It's gonna work out.
Yeah.
Cool. Army of Thieves, Netflix, 3.3 from Scotty Scoop. Yeah, definitely on the list. Listener, let us know if you've seen these. I guess they couldn't call it the Snyderverse
Correct.
because that would have been confusing.
Right.
So they're calling it the
Armyverse.
The Armyverse. It's not bad. All right, cool. Army of Thieves, Netflix. Can't wait. Gonna check it out. Listener, let us know. And the last one, HBO Max. It's called The Vow, a 9-part documentary series surrounding the company called Nixium. You may have heard about this. Spoiler-free review here. I feel like this could even be one to where maybe there's going to be another season because there's season 1, and I felt like maybe the ending felt like there could be more. The whole thing here is basically, if you're not familiar with Nixium, this was in the news. The headlines, I don't even know how many years ago at this point. Just a few.
It's been 3 years.
3 years, right? And it's a company that I don't even remember exactly what the company was to begin with. They were like a leadership,
self-help,
right?
Yeah.
And that's what they sold to make their money. And then there was some scandals in the news surrounding sex rings. And a name that you might know that was affiliated with this is Allison Mack of Smallville.
Yeah.
Played Chloe.
And
also Kristen Crook, who played Lana Lang, somewhat affiliated, but I think at the end of the day, exonerated and kind of separate. But Allison Mack, very much in this documentary series.
Deep.
It's all surrounding this one man that is leading this whole thing. This is one of those classic cult stories. And it's going to take you into the weeds of like living inside of this, essentially a cult.
Yeah.
And one of the top people in the organization is a film producer, and the lead guy, what's his name? Do you remember his name? I don't remember. I just saw this 2 nights ago, and I already can't remember the guy's name. That's terrible. But the
Richard or-
leader, it's like I can't think of it. Either way,
Logan.
no, Andy. God, do this all day. No, it almost came to my head, but either way, he has this film producer at kind of his right hand side, and he asked him, film me. I want you to film everything, like as if it's going to be a documentary one day, because he was like, we believe in what we're doing. And this guy had some crazy concepts, like just like a lot of these cult stories go, things get weird. And they're going to take you all the way through it. It's 9 episodes. I will say that this could have easily been 4 episodes. And they're really leveraging all of the footage. And here's the thing, a lot of it you do want to see, and a lot of it I would be grateful to be like, you really do need to see a lot of this behind the scenes to get a feel, to understand how deep it all goes. But I would say, if I was going to throw a rating on this thing, documentaries being kind of in their own category, you're not typically rewatching them, but just an overall gut feeling, I'd probably still give this thing like a 2.8 because I really enjoyed it, but it didn't push me over the edge. That being said, if there was a season 2, I would probably easily, you're not going to be like mad that you put it on. I just wouldn't put it on and try to be waiting for some like giant big reveal. It's more of just like a casual reveal. But Scotty, you've seen this. I wanted to hear your thoughts on this. And Andy, have you seen it?
I have not yet, but I'm going to watch this for sure.
Okay, so The Vow, HBO Max. Scotty, what do you think?
I watched it as it came out, so I had to wait every week.
Which was
a year ago.
See, I didn't even know.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, a new documentary.
Yeah. And I think I was hooked every week, so I didn't get that filler kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
We'd sit down on Sunday, watch it for the hour, and we felt complete watching it. I can understand if you kind of binged it, how you'd be like, there's too much filler in here.
Mm-hmm.
There's actually, I do believe, a second season coming, and I know there is another show on Showtime that dealt with the daughter that they were trying to get out of the cult.
Right. One of the aspects of the
Yeah.
story is a mom. Her daughter is not only in this organization, but she's one of the like top people. And I'm trying not to give like a spoiler, but this was in major headlines. The cult part, this ended up being like a sex ring.
Yeah.
There were basically the women that were in it were also, some of them were recruiting as well. She was like one of the lead recruiters.
Yeah.
And there's like the big question of like, is this girl, the daughter, a victim or not?
Right.
And you're saying there's a documentary out there that
On
explores
Showtime, yeah. And I think that's why she wasn't featured a whole lot
that.
in this documentary.
Yes.
Because I think she had a deal somewhere else.
Yes. And I mean, I agree. There were just certain parts that like I realized at the end, I was like, okay, well, this film producer guy, he's in it most of the time, which like makes sense because he was the guy that was kind of filming the whole thing. Because I would have liked a little bit more on Allison Mack. Because like I remember hearing about this and being like, Chloe,
right?
What are you doing?
Yeah, that's why
one of my favorite characters on Smallville.
She's a major character.
Yeah.
And me and Carrie are about to start Smallville, and it's gonna be like my 8th time, and she's never seen it before. And I was like, this is probably not the best way for you to meet Allison Mack. I was like, you're gonna see this whole documentary first, and then I was like, she's in the show a lot. She's she's a main star. She's Clark Kent's best friend.
Right.
Put it that way.
This is weird.
Yeah. Well, Andy,
Watching it in that order.
that's what I said. I'm excited to get your take. But Andy, you're gonna watch this. You haven't seen it.
Yeah, for sure. It had me. I remember this like coming out in the news, like, oh, it's the girl from Smallville. I've just been intrigued by the story. I haven't seen it in the news recently, but this seems very entertaining.
Yeah, I think it's easy to be entertained. If you're into any of the stories surrounding cults, this is it. And it's a lot of the classic stuff. And listen, I've seen a lot of this stuff at this point. So, just kind of tangent a little bit. I got to the point where I was like, okay, listen, what are these people doing? And it always comes down to the same thing, I feel like. It's just like a perfect storm of like an individual at the right moment in their life when things are at a certain point. Something good comes along that feels good. And then you just go and you're like, all right, this is cool. I'm with a good group. And then before you know it, I mean, you're in a sex ring. And you're playing dominant and slave role-playing that goes way too far. And signing contracts to be called a slave, essentially. getting branded with a
Yeah.
hot brand.
Yeah.
These are things that you're going to learn about that, these were the things that made the headlines. You're going to find out exactly how this all went down. And I'm still going to say, like, I am not sold quite on, like, who's the victim yet. I'm still, like, deciding for myself of, like, toward the, toward the end of it, they get a lot of people coming forward and saying, like, how they got mixed up in it. And, they defend themselves. They're like, you just don't know, like, if you're in it. But I'm like, there's certain things that I would know.
I think I'm going to be right there with you on that one.
And Scotty says there's a season 2.
There's talking about a season 2. Keith Raniere.
Keith Raniere.
That's the guy.
That's the guy.
Yep.
This
bastard.
This little guy, his long hair, getting all these people to basically do anything he wants.
Yeah. Play volleyball.
Loves volleyball. And, like, one of the guys they're interviewing him, I mean, again, like, they're not really spoilers. It's a documentary. One of the guys like, yeah, I didn't really get the volleyball at first. So yeah, I think you'll have a good time with it. All right, The Vow, HBO Max. You heard it here. Go check it out. Let us know if you're watching it. We'll keep you apprised if there's season 2. It's one of the documentaries out there. Go check it out.